Okay. Okay. Today, myself Ganesh. Today we'll discuss about firewall configurations. How to configure firewall? What is the use of firewall? I will show you practically. So I will explain. Uh, Paint. Now, okay. This is the user. This is the users and the first one is VPC, private computer, and this is Windows server, Windows machine. That is nothing but user one, Windows server or Linux or Ubuntu. This is user two. Okay. Now later connecting to the router, we can use which is this is use 192.168.85.100. I given the IP address, configure IP address like this. I have that here 101. I will configure 101 here. I will configure 102. Okay. 100 slash 24. Okay. Slash 24 slash 24. We can configure like this IP space 192.168.85.100, subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and internet IP address 192.168.1.1. We can configure like this in the real time scenarios. IP address. Okay. We can configure like this in the real time scenarios. This is, we can configure this under VPC. This will configure under VPC, VPC putty or VPC or VPC machine. Okay, this is VPC, virtual private computer. Okay, this is not a private cloud. This is virtual private computer. Virtual private computer. Okay, please keep it in mind that this is virtual private computer. Okay, Okay. Now after router, you can use a firewall here. This is bidirectional. This is sender. Sender send the request and response. Sender or requester. Sender or requester. This is firewall. Firewall, nothing but there are so many firewalls are there, but Palo Alto firewall we are using. After that, we need to configure here management IP management. This is management. After this, this is ISP. Internet service provider. Internet service provider. That is ISP. That is the IP address 192.168.1.1. Okay. This is actual diagram. This is one way firewall. We need to high availability. We need to give another switches. High availability. Okay. This firewall first EVNG we can start. IP address is 192.168.85.128. This is EVNG. Password username is root. Password is EVE. Okay. Next, firewall console login. HTTPS 192.168.85.129. This is the password. This is username. Username is admin and password is admin. But we need to change the password as admin at the rate 123 is new password. New password, and you can configure here IP address, VPC IP address or VPC comma user 1 comma user 2 IP address. You can configure the IP address, and in the firewall we can create an object. Create an object. First, I will show you here what in the firewall you can configure zones. Next, interfaces. Interfaces. Interfaces under that objects. After that, policies. In the policy, you can access internet is access or not. We can block the IP address, unwanted IP address. After that, route wires. Under that, virtual routers. That is static router. And the sixth one, we need to get virtual wires. Seventh one, and a NAT means SNAT, comma DNAT, comma UNAT. NAT means static NAT and a dynamic NAT and a UNAT. This is the most important configuration in the firewall. Most important. Okay, this is actual diagram of the firewall. This is static NAT and D means dynamic NAT, comma universal NAT. This is actual diagram. Okay, I will create how to configure a firewall. I will show you. First, we need to 16 GB RAM is required. Okay, 100 GB is storage. We need to require for that. Okay, I will show you virtual network editor. This is first. We need to delete all and we can configure VMnet 0 host address only. Host address, and this is internet IP address. So go to change settings. So first one is host only. This is the subnet mask range and host NAT only. Okay, this is NAT shared host IP address with VMs. NAT settings. This is NAT 192.168.85.1 and we can configure. We can okay. DNS settings. This is the DNS settings. Net BIOS settings. This is after that. And DHCP settings. This is the DHCP 128.254. This IP address we can use. So in my firewall, you can use 129 is the port number. You can use DHCP. See, this is 192.168.1.85.1 is the IP address. This IP address you can use for internet service provider. So later we can create the VMware. So like I will show you settings. So here 16 GB RAM is mandatory. Process four CPU processes 100 GB. And first we can use VM NAT and second one is we can use Same in virtual later, whatever configure, same here we can configure network adapter. Okay, under that cancel. Now we can start this and we can use. Okay, after that we can log in is root and EVE. So I will open this first. We can use 128. 128. This is the configuration. How it will configure, I will show you. First, node, we can configure here VPC virtual. Okay, now we can configure desktop PNG or we can use desktop. Okay, like this VPC. We can save, say here, and here next node Windows server. Okay, 4096 RAM. Okay, next here network. Sorry, node. Edit Cisco IOL node Cisco IOL and router.png. Okay, and configure here, save. Okay, after that, like this, you can join. Okay, like this. This is only stop state we can use. After that, node Palo Alt. You can use. Okay, now we can use network. Bridge management. Next, Okay. Mhm. 1 minute. It will. Okay. 1 minute. You can use ISP. Like this, you can use and we can start the working. Okay. After that, we can start our the now we can start firewall. Already I have opened here. See DHCP address. Okay. Already I have opened. We need to be again start and stop. Okay. And router and VPC and see here. Okay. This is my Windows PC. This is Windows like this. Okay. How to open this means you can start this. Now like this to open Windows. This is the diagram. Okay. Can start and we can working. Okay. In this, we can open VPC. See, like we can configure here like this. IP space 192.168.85.100 and subnet mask 255.255.255.0 and gateway IP address 192.168.1.1. This is you can configure like this. After that, you can use save the configurations. After that, save. In firewall, you can use commit force. In the firewall, not here. Use test123 is the password. And some commands are there to configure the firewall and device boot, some configure IP address also configuration is there. We need to assign the IP address. Later we can do it. Okay, like this you can use in the real time. Now, this is the firewall login console and this is the interfaces. After that, you can assign internet IP address layer 3 and IP4 configurations, virtual router default you can use security zone not required. After that, IP4 yard before interface we need to create the zones. Okay, zone we can create the zone here first and create LAN zone, and now we can create WAN zone, WAN underscore zone. Now here tap is layer 3. Layer 3 means in OSI reference model there is layers or 7 layers are there. This is layer 2, layer 3. Now I will create LAN zone here. Now here layer 3, LAN zone 1, layer 3, LAN zone. Now we can create the interfaces like this. Open and console, you can use interfaces. This is up and running. Okay, now interface type is layer 3. Okay, virtual router, default, security zone, WAN zone. Now IP address, LAN. This is the LAN IP address 192.168.1.1. Save changes. Now layer 3. Virtual add IP address. Now what is the WAN 150, 129? Okay. One 30. Now this is down state. Okay. Now after that, virtual router, use default security zone, LAN zone, and okay. After that, go to virtual routers. Create, no, add now first static routers. Create LAN zone. Destination IP address 0.0.0.0. This is the destination. Interface 192.168.100. Hundred is the source. Okay, destination is anywhere. Source. This is the source. This is you can configure like this. Like this you can configure router settings. Like this, we can configure. Interface none. Next IP address 192.168.1.100. Destination 0.0.0.0. Like this, we can configure. Otherwise, you can use default. Click default. Use add here. Already added, and use sub routers. Static routers. Can assign the IP address LAN underscore zone 0.0.0.0 and IP address 192 the source. Okay. Okay. After that, save changes. Flash 24. Like this, you can configure the IP address, and I configured policies. First, create the objects. In the objects, I create one IP. One is this one. I okay. This is how it will get means here NCPA. Right click under the status, under details. This is IP address. This is subnet. So 192.168.85.1. See, same thing I configured here. Okay, and this is the source. This is the internet address. This is the source IP address. Okay, after that, this is the Google. Google is full qualified domain we can use here. After that, can assign the policies in the firewall. Can assign policies only particular Google only we can allow. See, particular Google only yellow or the Denny. In the firewall, there is yellow and Denny options are there. At right click and this is the source. Source means this is the source. This is the source. Okay. And the destination. See, this is the destination. Like this, you can use in the real time scenario also. '85. Like this, you can use after zone and virtual wires. You can configure virtual wires also here. See, Ethernet link state pass through you can use. whichever and select interface like this and go to the monitor. In the monitor, we have verified the logs. Your logs are there. We can use and we can use commit the transaction. If any issues, we can resolve the commit. Commit is failed. Like this, we can use in the real time firewall. We can use like this. We can configure like this. See URL filtering and the thread traffic. You can set the traffic and alarm and authentication and the tunnel and the session browser, traffic map and a botnet. This is the most virus we can avoid. See summary and SaaS service. Okay, and email scheduler and report groups. Everything is there in the firewall and the logs. You can use the traffic. See, this is the this is LAN zone. This is the LAN zone. This is the destination IP address. And this is not about Denny and a block all. Okay, like this you can use in the real time scenarios. This is the logs. Firewall logs means this is the firewall logs. Okay, open firewall logs and you can verify there. See LAN zone port number 53. Okay, this is the firewall and this is the dashboard. We can configure pending is there. We can configure save changes. Okay, PM memory 7 GB. This is the CPU 33%, data plane CPU 1%, session timeout. Okay, like this. You can use in the real time. This is the configuration they are using in the real time, monitoring the logs and the policies, what port number and what IP address, what full qualified domain we can allow. We can allow this full qualified domains, network device. These are the configuration. First zones, next interface, next virtual bytes, next virtual root and IPsec. Also can configure and you can go to the device. In that device, you can use the certificate also renewal. This is not secure, so can use the secure and go to here management. Like this, we can use in the real time. This is the overview and this is in depth of a firewall. This is we can configure in our laptop also. We can download from software in the internet and we can download as well as okay. Thank you for watching this. You can please share to your friends and the family members, those who are learning WebSphere application server and the firewall. And in the playlist, everything is there. WebSphere, WebLogic, AWS, and DevOps, GCP, DevOps, and Jenkins pipeline. Everything is there in the channel. Please share to your friends and family members. It is very helpful to helpful, very